needed money, and I was at a point where it's like, okay, well, I guess I should look at getting these, like the grown-up job. My first real quintessential job is what our group of friends were talking about. But I had a little stopgap employment. I started working as a valet down at Crave. Crave is a restaurant, Crave and Three Point, the restaurant just right downtown. They're very good, locally owned. So I was working there, I was parking cars, and I was looking for jobs in social work. So long story short, my old boss and the owner had just gotten a job in pharmaceutical sales, and he's like, I'm going to lose this. I'm going to lose this business. I don't have any time to do this. And he's like, I'm going to have to sell it. So this is kind of when I got into being an entrepreneur. I think the writing was always on the wall for me. I always hustled. I always made money. I sat in line for 3 days when the PlayStation 3 came out and actually sold my spot in line for $800. Because the market was flooded. Everybody was going to sell them on eBay. Everything, in college, I worked all the way through school. I painted, I did construction. I always wanted to make money, and I just saw an opportunity. So when my old boss said, I'm going to have to sell this, I said, well, what are we looking at? So the price that he put out was pretty reasonable, and I had a fairly nice car that I bought in college. So I ended up selling that car, and I got with a buddy that I worked with all through college who studied finance at Akron too, and we bought the business. I was terrified at first because I had no idea what I was doing. I knew how to valet cars. I knew what that meant, but I didn't know what a pro forma was or anything whatsoever with revenue or how to actually run a business. But I said, at this point, I was 24. I don't have a mortgage and I don't have kids. Why not take this risk? I thought I could grow it. I've always been ambitious, and I just saw an opportunity. So it'll be 4 years in July that I purchased the business, and we went from having 1 restaurant down there in 1 location. Now we're at 7 in a hotel. So I purchased a business that maybe grossed $30,000 or $40,000, and it's probably at least 10 times that to date now. So, and that's like in the abstract, you said, oh my God, this is such a cool story that, you've been able to grow a business, but, we failed on so many more accounts than we've succeeded. Within 4 months of owning the business, somebody tried to sue me because one of my buddies hit a truck. I mean, this is what happens when you park cars. You're gonna back them up into walls sometimes. We failed at restaurants. I mean, today, like right this instant, one of my guys is being fired because he didn't show up last night to his overnight shift. I had to work from 11 to 7.
Heard you just make that call.
Yeah, Jeff heard it. Yeah, I actually got off work this morning at 7. So, there's a ton of fun of being an entrepreneur, but there's also, obviously, there's kind of this gritty underbelly where it's, it's your baby. You're committed to it. It's your lifeline. So, and kind of just, what else did I have to, just when I was starting the business, something that was always very apparent is kind of like the naysayers that were always present. Even, it was friends that were just very ambivalent, and that was one of the things that I kind of always took with me. I like when people tell me no. I like when people tell me I can't do things. It becomes a driving force. And then along the lines with that is, I think when you look at entrepreneurs, they're self-motivated, they're driven. Oftentimes they think that they're the smartest people in the room, which you quickly learn you're not. And you have to be comfortable with control. I played sports my entire life. I wanted the ball. I pitched in baseball. I played tennis. I played independent sports. And the aspect of having control and kind of controlling my own destiny was just it was worth getting any job that could pay me even what I was looking at when I was just getting out of school. So I don't know if you guys have any questions for me. I'm completely an open book. I've seen a little bit for being my age, and I'm closer to you guys' age than I guess I am away from it. So if you guys have any questions, fire them away. Go ahead.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned from everything you've done to this point?
Just never be just don't count your chickens before they hatch. I got so obsessed with growing the business and and being hyper neurotic about every little thing that just was out of my control. There's a certain point where you just have to consent to. It's like, okay, I can't see the future. I can't predict what's going to happen. I'll insulate myself as best as I can, but you have to just kind of let go at a certain point. You know?
Thanks.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, like, how is it for you, like, when you were, like, employing people and stuff, like, how were you basing off what you want to employ them for? Because you have strengths and you have weaknesses, so did
Sure.
you look very specifically for people who could do certain things and
Okay.
that would help build you up?
So that's a good question. So when I'm looking at, when I'm doing interviews, I would say I probably know within the first minute of talking to somebody if I'm going to move forward. I don't look for anybody who's got crazy experience. I look for people that can have a conversation and that can carry themselves in a professional way. And I have an incredible range of employees. I have employees that are in state assisted housing, and I have guys that are getting their master's degree in economics. So there's an incredible range, but the whole thing is just if they have the ability to work hard and they're not late, I'll give it a shot for sure. Yep. Anything else? Go ahead.
I'm allowed to ask questions. I'm just curious. So you said when you first got started, you didn't know what you were doing. I'm wondering, how did you bridge the gap between not knowing what you were doing and now being very successful? How did you learn?
On the fly. You don't have an option to not. I just kind of submerge myself in any like basic self-help business that I could look at. Just from when I would like do the very basic forecasting. Just Google like how to forecast, and I kind of did the business retroactively. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's things that I should have done way before. If I could have done it again, we gave equity to my old boss, and I would have never done that now because it ended up costing me a ton of money. But that's the whole thing, is being an entrepreneur. It was the perfect starter business because it was a low enough threshold where it's like, okay, even if you make some of these mistakes, it's okay. So that's kind of my whole thing.
You have a question?
Being younger, trying this business and not knowing like what you're essentially getting into.
Sure.
Did your employees like take you seriously, or did they like take advantage of you? Or
Yeah, they take me seriously.
He's tough. What
Well, I mean, I am incredibly. I will joke around with everybody. When I employ people, when I would tell a prospective client, they would ask me what's the most important thing about your business. I would tell them customer service, but in reality, the most important thing about my business is the people I employ. I run a cash business. If they want to steal from me because they're not making money or they're upset, they will. I mean, we fired people from stealing. So it's always been my prime objective to make sure that every employee is happy and they're making money. Because I've done their job. This isn't something where I wanted to look at these and be like, well, you need to do this here. If you have a bad night, I don't care. There's multiple times where I've thrown them cash because they've had bad nights. I've loaned them money when they've needed it because, I don't know, it's how you treat people. You can kind of get past the business at a certain point and say, okay, this is a human quality rather than anything regarding business.
So 5 years, where do you see yourself going?
5 years? I need some sleep right now. 5 years. Well, I'm currently working on another business. I'm going to be starting adult recreational leagues in downtown Akron. So in 5 years, I'll either be getting a master's in public administration or I'll be starting something else. I want to be mayor in 10, so that's my plan.
All right, guys, let's give it up for Mr. Logan Jennings. Not to be leaving empty-handed.
Sweet.
He has got his Excel Center What's Your Problem
Cool.
t-shirt. Logan's going to be with us for a while today, guys. Please take advantage of him here as well. Let me give you a quick rundown of what we're going to do the next few minutes. Going to break up, going to work on your routines. This is what we're calling a working lunch. Pizza will be brought in around 12 o'clock down to the eating room. We've got pizza that's cheese and pepperoni. I'm sorry I had to keep it simple, but there's so many of you, I just want to make it kind of straightforward. Plenty of pizza. You can go down there and eat it. I know you guys are breaking off in individual rooms. You know, if you're gonna take food with you, just please be very, you know, noble about it. Throw your stuff away, don't make a mess. You guys are all adults, it's not gonna be a problem. Let us know if you need any help. We are going to be working on our projects until 1 o'clock. You've got a lot of mentors here, let us know how we can help you.
And we've got 4 separate workspaces to take over. Everyone has a workspace, so.
Everyone's got a workspace, guys.
So we'll take you there when you need to.
Are you small, medium, large?
That'll work. Does that work? Friendship, learning. I've got
one of the rooms actually is in here, so one team will get to retain this room, so whoever wants to sit here.
No, that's not us.
All right. Where's Sarah? Sarah, I need you.
Yep.
There is two doors, like, you almost ran into one.
pretty much, so I just am a carbonation liquid. Doesn't matter if it's got well, but I don't know, is this a new thing? I just carbonate my own water. So it is water. It's carbonate.
Yeah, my dad did that too.
I just drink tons of carbonated drinks. Not good. So what else?
Yeah,
What I'm saying, stay there. Is the pizza been delivered yet? No. But when it is, you're gonna be there from 12 to 1.
If they're not wearing one of our shirts, don't let them touch the pizza. Because they're eating everything else. It's random.
I'll be over there.
So you're gonna be down there, John?
Yes.
Thank you. Good idea.
Our team upstairs has been,
But it's all those people that were just in there, you know, these students, they can't touch the pizza.
279. Yeah, I was like, 279. Our students are up there. Can you pop in on them?
They're up there?
Yeah, I just wanted to know. Can you pop in on them, maybe?
I'll go. I'll do it.
Wait, what were you planning on learning in class? What were you planning on learning in that class? You were gonna just teach you whatever it was, and then you don't have to go to class, but German.
9, du hast.
Yeah, that's all we got.
Du hast nicht. Du hast nicht versucht.
And that's not German, by the way.
That is, it means I have or I use. I know my German from Ramstein. I think it's so funny you know Ramstein.
Because we watched it.
Really?
It's like the one German that Americans know. Yep, I know Ramstein. I know Du hast. I knew the German boy. Because Ramstein's old. That's like 15 years old. When I was listening to some vacation with our family, and they had a little 2-year-old boy. And I kept thinking, and, you know, but he was funny, but 2 years later. Come on. Because, you know, he knew that, which I have or I hear.
don't know why. What?
I have a diet plan.
What?
I have a diet plan. My diet plan.
team here.
I haven't talked to the blue team yet.
Did you get your help then?
Is there anyone in? Awesome.
You said
I'm
two.
really big on
I got
social
you.
media.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
What do you think, Mom? Looking pretty good, huh? These trees have made so much ground, it's insane.
I'm so proud of them. Really, really proud.
If you can find me, the ID you're trying to get at, I think that'd be cool.
I think we should get a slide right after this.
That's more important.
Good job.
Thank you.
Where are they giving
Thanks,
the
Julie, good idea.
presentation?
We'll talk about it on that slide. Oh, if you actually found you do that over.
Make sure that,
Yeah, can some,
Olivia,
I'm really not good
on
at
the
like recording.
questions, make sure that she has a high
Pictures
chair
and
she
stuff,
can
so
sit on when
sometimes
they're
we do
standing up there giving presentations, and she said just record on her, the stand with the crutches. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
so
know
they
if
just
she
like go over
said
the
one of
page
these or
or
not, but she said she
we're doing
could,
shit.
she could just sit up there.
Okay.
Where did
thought.
you say they're presenting?
Right down, the honors college.
Oh, so outside this building?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
1.5 buildings over.
Oh, okay.
Where? Yeah, this
In the common room where we had the, mayor panel.
Oh, okay.
And we hired a stage for this, so they're gonna create a stage now too. It's the real deal. That's why I got Mitch to, or, Akil to package up all those, when we take them over, the commandos come over and say,
When is that? Is that
So they
today?
won't speak into a
Yeah.
microphone?
two wireless mics. So I think what we'll do is we'll give them one for the people. I'm gonna make sure that they really take it seriously though, because we're videoing it all.
What time do they start? 'Cause
That's.
Pizza zero.
Oh, shit.
Right.
Well,
Two to four is that's the, oh man, I made that.
I know, well, I told you.
Hey, guys.
I have to leave the doctors at 2:30. No, I'm gonna call and just ask if they can, it's just the follow-up to say, yeah, looks good to me. I'm gonna call.
Cause I mean,
Where?
help is really matter. And I
Oh,
know there's something
yeah,
you
but
gotta make sure you
they
take
told
care of
me that, I
yourself.
know, Sarah, but I said to him, I said, I had to leave the
Oh,
meetings in.
it probably meant instantly.
This is a new thing.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Oh, it's sarcastic, yeah, just do it.
I'm Annie, we've actually met before.
I know we
Yes,
had,
yes,
I'm
nice to
sorry,
see
I
you
didn't
again.
remember
That's
your
okay,
name, you as
that's okay.
well, yeah.
We met at Jerry's house
Yeah, oh my
a
gosh.
long time ago. Yeah.
That is a long time ago.
And I see your husband all over the place, he's always hanging out with you.
Oh, always.
But like that shit was talking like real people, NASA.
What did she say?
It's the whole joke thing, but this is as big as like stuff she
Yeah.
what she's talking about like kidding. Kid tries to you know, really like
Let's go to practice meetings. Are there pictures on all the slides yet? Oh, wow, you didn't even on there. That's fine.
That is really for your house.
Oh, it's not going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, your house.
Here you go. I mean, we're okay. Like, if you really make it. Okay, I'm ready.
What?
You're good.
I'm just putting down.
It's warmed up about it. I'm just trying to put in like a people.
Well, usually back up a lot.
Okay, good.
I just need examples. Hey Courtney.
Hey,
Tommy,
ready for lunch?
So ready.
It's pizza fire, so I'm really excited.
Tommy keeps sending me pictures of you.
I swear God, if there's any more selfies, I'm horrible.
Every single one.
Why are you lying?
Huh?
I said, why are you lying?
I think I'm lying.
Yeah, you're lying.
Are you nuts?
You said you look horrible in all of them.
I do.
What
Hurry
have you
up.
done?
I'm gonna take your stuff with you
We're
now,
gonna
then,
eat, people take your stuff. Stop
the
taking
eating is
pictures.
happening down there.
We
but,
came back
you
for to
guys-
put some manuscripts.
Yeah, if you need to put whatever you need in here, you're welcome to,
Well, I have to try so you know when
Yeah,
they're
if you need to be putting your computer down, or?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, we've got room set aside for you.
Did you,
I still have a long seat.
I'm going to on this that like there we go.
Yeah, but don't sit like that.
Sit like
Yeah.
that.
That works. Yeah, let's go.
Please sit up. I just hope I'm not that nervous.
You can stand and eat your pizza.
No, I just want to run. I just really want to.
Then why didn't I take my bagel in here?
What?